The holographic display flickered with contempt as Admiral Zephyros gestured dismissively at the primitive fleet orbiting the blue marble they called Earth. "Behold, the mighty human armada," he sneered, his crystalline features catching the light of 1,000 conquered suns. The assembled council of the Galactic Empire erupted in cruel laughter, their various alien forms united in mockery. 600 vessels against our infinite fleets. Their plasma cannons are centuries behind our technology. Their shields pathetic barriers against our planet killers. Commander Vexhi's tentacles writhed with amusement. "I predict their extinction within hours of our arrival. Perhaps we should delay. Let them suffer in anticipation." Yet in the deepest archives of the council chambers, warning reports gathered digital dust 7 reconnaissance fleets sent to the Sol system over the past year, all fallen silent. The Empire's arrogance had rendered these disappearances invisible. Mere statistical anomalies in their vast catalogue of conquered worlds. No one questioned why an entire battle group had simply ... vanished. The USS Retribution drifted in the void between Mars and Jupiter. Its hull scarred from a dozen impossible battles, cloaked by experimental technology that bent light itself around its angular frame. Captain Sarah Chen stood on the bridge, her weathered hands clasped behind her back as she watched the tactical display populate with enemy contacts. Thousands of red dots materialized from hyperspace, an armada so vast it defied comprehension. Her crew handpicked volunteers, who knew they would never see home again, stood at their stations with quiet resolve. "Sir, enemy fleet strength is overwhelming," whispered Lieutenant Torres, his voice barely audible above the hum of the ship's core. "Over 50,000 vessels, and counting." Chan's jaw tightened. The Retribution was humanity's last secret, the culmination of Project Lazarus, a dreadnought built around a prototype weapon that married quantum singularities to dark matter manipulation. It had never been tested at full power, its theoretical yields so catastrophic that even its creators feared what they had built. "Ladies and gentlemen," Chen's voice carried across the intercom to every deck. "Every soul aboard. Tonight the galaxy will remember that humanity does not go quietly into the dark." The Eternal Dominion materialized at the heart of the Imperial formation, its obsidian hull stretching for kilometers, bristling with enough firepower to crack moons. Admiral Zephyros gazed upon Earth's pathetic defenses through the viewport, savoring the moment before total annihilation. "One ship," he mused to his staff, noting the solitary human vessel that had emerged from the asteroid field. "One desperate, foolish ship thinks to challenge the might of 1,000 worlds." The bridge erupted in laughter, officers congratulating themselves on humanity's stupidity. But the laughter died as the Retribution's main cannon began to charge. Reality itself seeming to bend around the weapons more. A lance of pure annihilation erupted from the human ship, tearing through space faster than thought. The beam struck the Empire's vanguard formation and kept going, splitting 3,000 vessels in half, like a sword through silk. The shockwave that followed turned metal into plasma, plasma into light, light into memory. In the span of 5 seconds, an entire battle group simply ceased to exist. Chaos consumed the Imperial ranks as commanders screamed impossible readings into their comms. The Retribution dove between walls of plasma fire, its experimental AI calculating trajectories within human precision, dancing through volleys that should have vaporized any ship. From its hull erupted swarms of autonomous drones, thousands of mechanical wasps that pierced enemy shields and burrowed into reactor cores. Empire vessels began exploding from within as the drones tore through critical systems, each detonation a star-bright funeral pyre. Admiral Zephyros roared for reinforcements, his crystalline features cracking with rage and disbelief. How can one ship, one primitive human vessel, wield such power? More fleets dropped from hyperspace, only to find themselves trapped in an expanding graveyard of their own making. The Retribution's main weapon fired again. And this time it did something that broke every law of physics the Empire understood. It created a controlled black hole that consumed an entire carrier group in a spiral of screaming light. On Earth, humanity watched in stunned silence as their lone guardian battled impossible odds. Children pressed against windows while their parents wept. Soldiers cheered themselves hoarse, and world leaders knelt in prayer. The feeds showed the Retribution sustaining horrific damage, hull plates melting under plasma bombardment. Entire sections venting atmosphere, yet still, it fought with the fury of the damned. An enemy dreadnought attempted to ram the human ship, its alien crew screaming war cries as they charged. The collision should have destroyed both vessels, but at point-blank range. The Retribution unleashed every weapon it possessed. The explosion outshone stars, visible from the surface of Mars, as a new sun blazed and died in the space of heartbeats. When the light faded, the Retribution still flew, scarred but unbroken, while its attacker existed only as expanding gas. Captain Chen gripped her command chair as the ship bucked under another impact. Half her bridge crew, dead or dying, the smell of burning electronics thick in the recycled air. Status report. She barked through gritted teeth. Main weapon at 60%, hull integrity failing on decks 7 through 12. Casualties at 40% and climbing, came the reply from somewhere through the smoke. Chen closed her eyes for a moment, feeling the weight of humanity's hope and desperation. "If this is our last night," she announced, her voice carrying to every corner of the dying ship, "then by God, it will be theirs as well." The Retribution's AI, achieving something approaching consciousness in its final hour, hacked into the enemy fleet's communication network and broadcast a single message across 1,000 frequencies. "We are humanity. We do not yield. We do not surrender. We are not prey." The psychological warfare proved as devastating as the physical. Alien crews began abandoning their posts, convinced that humans possessed godlike technology. Entire formations broke rank and fled into hyperspace, their commanders powerless to stop the exodus. The battle stretched across hours, each moment a symphony of destruction that would echo through galactic history. Holes bloomed and collapsed, plasma storms raged between the planets, and the void itself seemed to scream in agony. By dawn, the greatest armada ever assembled was reduced to drifting wreckage and fading radiation signatures. Of 50,000 Imperial vessels, perhaps 100 remained, fleeing in terror toward the galactic rim. The Retribution hung motionless in space, a gutted shell held together by the prayers of the living and the memory of the dead. Captain Chen stood alone on what remained of her bridge, staring into the debris field that had once been an empire's pride. Victory felt hollow in her mouth, tasting of ash and sacrifice. On the Empire's capital world, silence gripped the council chambers as the impossible reports filtered in. Annihilation. Complete and total defeat. By one human warship. Whispers of rebellion spread like wildfire across subjugated worlds. If humanity could stand against the Empire, why couldn't they? Within weeks, the Galactic Empire collapsed, torn apart by uprisings it no longer had the strength to suppress. The Retribution vanished into deep space, becoming legend, its crew sacrifice transforming into mythology. Alien children drew pictures of the ghost ship that ended tyranny, while their parents whispered prayers to never anger humanity. Human historians would call it the Night of Retribution, but the galaxy knew it by another name. The night an empire died, and freedom was reborn among the stars. In the silence of deep space, where light takes years to travel between worlds, the stars themselves remembered the lesson written in fire and blood, that even the mightiest empire could fall to the courage of those who refused to kneel.